if you use something called variables, your calculator becomes a whole lot more powerful. But let's pretend that I have a measurement in centimeters. I'm going to name it cm, and I'm going to assign the value 4 to that name. So anytime I use cm, it's going to evaluate to 4, just as if that was an expression in and of itself. So I like to think of variables as buckets. These buckets contain values in them, in this case 4, and they have labels, in this case cm. So Python is really cool because you don't have to specify what kind of variable it is. That's going to give you a syntax error. You just name it and then assign to it. So this is called the assignment operator, this equal sign. We'll get to different use of the equal sign later. So I assigned 4 to this variable cm. So if I wanted, I could convert cm to inches using, I believe it's 2.54. That's what my notes say. But oh no, I have a syntax error. What's the deal there? Well, maybe my expression is incorrect. So let me just try that expression by itself. Well, that does evaluate to some big number, but maybe it's the in command that's wrong. Invalid syntax. Let me just try to put that to 4 the same way that I did the cm equals 4. And it's still giving me a syntax error. So if you remember, when I sent in keywords to help, it gives me a list of the Python keywords that are off limits for use in the names of variables. And look, in is one of them. We'll get to it later. And so I can't use in, so instead I'm going to use inch. So inch divided by 2.54 will mean that inch is a new bucket, a new variable that has the name inch, and it has the value 1.57 blah, blah, blah inside it. So anytime you use inch, that'll be 1.7 blah, 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 and I could do other math and more expressions with that then. Okay, so another thing you could do is I could enter in cm equals 10 and change the value of cm. What do you think? Do you think that will also change the value of inch? Because inch is dependent on cm. It turns out it doesn't. Inch remains the same because the REPL executes one line at a time. So it executed this line, which is a reassignment, but it did not execute this line again. If I wanted to, remember, I could retrieve that command using up, 3 times. And then now inch has a new value, okay? One more thing I want to show you is I can execute multiple lines at a time if I wanted to by using the semicolon. In a lot of different languages, you need the semicolon for every line of every command, every instruction. But in Python, you don't, but you could use it if you wanted to chain 2 lines together. So in this case, cm is different and inch is different. And that was a bad example because I used the same number. If I wanted to show you a different example, I could do that. And now inch is different. However, I highly caution against using Python like this and chaining multiple commands together because it makes it harder to read, especially when we use scripts or programs, which we'll get to later. So if you want, you could definitely hit this command here, import this, and this will show you a beautiful document that we'll keep coming back to in this course. The Zen of Python by Tim Peters. And these are all of the ideas or all of the maxims that make Python really special. If you follow all of these, you will make really nice Python code. One of them is readability counts. That means you want to make sure that your code, can be read and interpreted easily by other humans, not just Python. Another one is sparse is better than dense. So that's why this is less cool than doing cm equals whatever you're trying to do, and then do inch equals cm divided by 2.54. It might take a little bit longer, and it might be more spread out, but that helps for your readability. You might be wondering, which variables have I stored, and what are their values? So you could use this command. I would write this down in your help section along with help. This is called dir, and the dir command is short for directory, and it'll show you everything that you've stored in your directory. This is pretty interesting. This we imported, and we'll talk more about import later, so just ignore that for now. But this, dir will not tell you the values of your variables, it'll just tell you the names. Also, there's a bunch of stuff with double underscores, which we'll talk about later, so you can ignore those too. Just look at these variables for now. So dir is nice, and we'll get back to it for another usage, but what I really want to do is globals, and that will show me all of the values. So cm is 9, inch is 3.54, and then this is a module. This output to globals is kind of messy and ugly. So what I like to do is pretty print it. So we talked about this print command earlier, which you can use in the Python interpreter to print something. Oops. There's another pretty print function which will print globals a little bit better. See, print does the same thing as just printing out globals or just writing globals by itself. But in order to use pretty print, we have to do this weird thing, which is, from pprint, import pprint as pp. And I'll tell you all about what that means later. So use pp globals like that, and it'll print it in a nice and pretty way. Notice how pp became a function that we imported.